Hello, viewers. This is Acid Roots Wired, and you stepped into another episode of Devil May Cry. Now, I believe we're in Mission 7, and this mission has a particular gimmick about it. So, like an earlier mission that was timed, this is one where this time the health is at risk, so we have to get to the end of the mission before your health runs out, which kind of means you want to fight in this, but then you want to be careful as to what to specifically do with it. So that's kind of the concept here. And actually, I was doing an earlier commentary on this, and I realized that you do have to fight a little bit. There is a particular door that won't open up until you complete these enemies, so you do have to fight somewhat, but for the most part, it's just time is of the essence. That's kind of the concept there. So, yeah, I've got some reviews coming. I'm trying to think of what. I have to figure that out. Got to get that taken care of next. Got this whole cool, brisk night to kind of get some of that stuff done, and this is kind of the concept there. Watched the news today, kind of the same stuff, same sort of template, that type thing. Kind of a little bit on the hungry side, just trying to think of, I mean, truthfully, I would like to come up with some new kind of YouTube Shorts ideas, but they just don't seem to be as lucrative on Acid Roots Music, and I don't know, I would wonder how it would work on this channel as far as trying to actively do it. I don't know. It seems like YouTube Shorts come to some people easier than others. I happen to, I don't know. And then on top of that, you know, talking about YouTube Shorts now, because it's like the newfangled thing, then you look at it also, and it's just, the randomness of it is just so odd. I mean, so many videos, you do one, it does well, and then you don't, and then you do another one, and it's just kind of mixed results. It's just always, I don't know, that's one thing I've always disliked about YouTube, is just the kind of shakiness where it's just very a fluid website. If you ever had things that you've messed with that are fluid, and sometimes they're hot, sometimes they're cold, that's definitely YouTube's MO. This is kind of the thing. It's just one of those things you have to get used to, but I don't know. I mean, I look at like the concept of YouTube Shorts as like a dichotomy also, just because it's kind of like, you know, it's just another thing to juggle. I mean, it's a relatively brisk concept, but you still have to pay attention as to whether or not it's, but yeah, so. Just trying to think of, yeah, I forgot the health is going down. Yeah. You do have to kind of be in somewhat of a hurry with this, so this is kind of, but it's good to get to know the area, just because, you know, I'm noticing that some of these missions do kind of involve it. It kind of reminds me of like a hub world. I think this castle is kind of like the hub, just without the sense of, I mean, there is a mission each time that you have to do, but it's like it's in the same area, which is kind of the funny thing. It's a clever concept to be able to say that they just kind of come up with all these different ideas for like the same spot. It's just, you know, everything has to do with this castle, so it's just kind of, but so. Just trying to think of what else is kind of. Yeah, I really wonder how Devil May Cry 2 would turn out. I'm kind of curious about that, just to wonder as to how good that game actually is. Just looking back, I don't know. I mean, I've seen critics, when I look it up on Wikipedia and it gets like a 7 out of 10, it kind of makes me curious about that kind of stuff. I mean, I would figure this game to be like an 8.5 or a 9 out of 10, but I don't know, it's just kind of. Then the third one, I don't know. I mean, that one's kind of off and on, but it's kind of. Yeah, it had said that the complaints about Devil May Cry 2 are just more of Dante's character, which I don't know if he's just not quite as much of a badass in the second one as in this one, but even looking at this game, I don't really get a ton of examples of Dante being a badass. I mean, I do like his character, and the moves he uses are definitely pretty kick-ass, but there's just not a lot of examples of him kind of having that charming personality. I mean, I get that he kind of has like a sort of kind of, he's looking for a good fight, but apart from that, there's really not like an overabundance about it. I mean, I sound like I'm reviewing this myself, but it's just kind of, I don't know. I for some reason feel like I want some sort of action RPG out of this game just to get more examples of Dante being able to do it. But it's just kind of, that's kind of the thing. So, but yeah, I mean, we're eight missions in now, so I've seen plenty of examples of like the action sequences as far as that kind of goes. But this is very much more of a show kind of game than a tell kind of game. I think that's kind of the point. Is it's more, there's not so much to say as much as there is to do, and that's kind of. But it is a high-ranking PlayStation 2 game. It's definitely up there with some of the best PlayStation 2 games I've played, with like Grand Theft Auto 3 and San Andreas and Max Payne and some of those type games. But just kind of, I don't know. I mean, I don't know. I sound like I'm getting ready to become a video game developer or something. It's just how many situations I see with that where I just look after it. I see these things. It's like, this should have been in this game. But yeah, so, alright, next time, mission 8, and you'll see it. So,